Well, from the beginning on this one, we can see that if you were to substitute the h equal to 0, it's already undefined right there. So we need to skip straight to the algebra. This is saying you've got two fractions and subtract them. So what we need to do is get a common denominator in order to combine the two fractions. So the first one is 1 over h, and then this one needs to be factored. So factor out an h. So it's going to be h times h plus 1. So that one's got an h and that one's got an h. So that's in the common denominator, as well as we need an h plus 1. So this one needs to be multiplied by h plus 1 in the numerator and denominator. And then they've got a common denominator. So we can just make one fraction with h times h plus 1 as the common denominator. And then here we've got an h plus 1 and then minus 1. And those 1's are going to cancel each other out, leaving only an h in the numerator. And then recopy the denominator. And then an h divided by an h will leave a 1. And so after we've done the algebra, all that's left is 1 over h plus 1. And finally, the last thing to do is, again, try substituting the 0. So that's going to be a 1 on top and a 0 plus 1, or in other words, the answer should be 1. So graph 1 divided by x minus 1 divided by x squared plus x. And then I need this to be close to 0, so negative 2 to 2. And then take a look at the graph. And as the h is close to 0, so at 0, the function is undefined. But if it's close to 0, it's very close to 1. Notice that the calculator just made a small error here. I told it to substitute in 0.00, I forget how many zeros I had, but let's say it was this. So it's very close to 0, and the calculator says, well, I'm going to go ahead and round it, and round this to a 1. But notice if I substitute in a 0 exactly, right here it says the exact same thing, 0, but a blank. So the graphing calculator isn't the brightest machine out there, but it's good for helping us try and understand. So always make sure that you show your work and then use the graphing calculator just to check it. Don't always trust just the graphing calculator.